Hey everyone, it is late at night and I am Norman. Something crazy just recently happened. So, a bit ago, I was working on video editing and whatnot very late at night, and I saw a video come through from SoCal Watch Reviews. And it was a review of a D1 Milano. So, of course, it caught my attention because way back in the day, I owned a D1 Milano. One of their ultra thins, 40mm. However, this piece was a 36mm D1 Milano with a charcoal or dark silver colored dial on it. Now, after I sold mine, I had been keeping my eyes open on their catalog because they've been putting out slightly smaller ultra thins at 38, 37mm, somewhere around there. But they were always in colorways that I wasn't really interested in. I was keeping my eyes open for a 37mm black dial, no date. So when I saw this watch, I was very intrigued. So I left a comment on the video, didn't think anything of it, went back to work. Later, I got a message from SoCal Watch Reviews, and he said if I was interested in the watch, I could make him an offer. I'm trying to save. My account's already kind of low. But how can I say no? So I made an offer, and I mean, just look at that watch. This is 36mm. It's the perfect size for this design. And look at that dial. So tonight, let's get some first impressions of this watch. Let us begin. Man, this watch brings me back. Way back to when I first started this channel, when I owned a D1 Milano Ultra Thin. I don't even remember why I bought that watch. At that time, I really wasn't into bracelets at all, or sports watches, but something about the design intrigued me, so I picked one up, and I absolutely loved it. But it was 40mm, and it was thinner than this piece, because it was quartz. So with this design, it just looked huge, and I figured I would let it go and keep my eyes open for when the brand put out something smaller, and they have. And the nostalgia with this piece is real. I mean, my channel was super small at that time, and David Schwartz reached out to me and sent me his Nautilus homage. He didn't even know who I was, and was cool enough to lend that to me, and I got to put it side by side with my D1 Milano. And it was cool, because the Nautilus was refined and just really nice looking. The D1 next to it was very tooly and kind of minimal, but yeah, these watches are really great. And so far this bracelet has been friendly. And I don't recall my old one really pulling arm hair much, but then again, I wear my watches kind of snug, so it's not like they're moving around a whole lot on my wrist. And just look at that taper. Crazy. This watch is definitely thicker than the quartz one, I think by about 4mm or so. When I do the full review, I'll give you an exact size comparison as far as the thickness goes. And this dial is really intriguing. It's sort of a charcoal and yet not. It's like in between charcoal and silver dial. And that sunburst on there makes it look so fancy, especially with those indices that are all polished and applied. And for me, this one is interesting because it's an automatic by D1 Milano, and it has a screwed down crown. But I have to say this crown so far is a little bit brutal, because they went with a similar design to what they do with their quartz pieces, but for those you're only using this to set the time. With this one, if it's asleep, you might want to give it a little bit of power by winding it 10-20 times or so, and that is not entirely pleasant. Neither is screwing it and unscrewing it, but yeah, this dial really ups the luxury look of it. And these watches are just solid. It has a butterfly clasp, but I've been able to get it sized just right for me. So that's pretty cool. I've been wearing this ever since I got it. And when I do a full review, I'll go over all of the specs of the watch and how it's treated me in my time wearing it between now and then. But yeah, for some weird reason, I'm a pretty big D1 Milano fan. Okay, so tonight I'm wearing the Eddie Bauer watch, which was a gift to the channel. I put it on a dark brown shell Cordovan strap, which looks so good on it. And that bezel, man, that bezel just makes this watch. That is so cool. Thinking about wearing this camping in a couple weeks. Yeah. Let me take this off and we'll see what the D1 Milano is like when you're wearing it. And here is the D1 Milano on my 7-inch wrist. My wrist is 55 millimeters wide. And this bracelet does kind of pull arm hair when you're first putting it on, but once it's on, it's pretty comfortable. And just look at that. Such a cool design. Yeah, so if you're not already subscribed to the channel, if you want to see the full review of this, you may want to do that. Check the notifications so you'll see when it comes out. So cool. There you have it, the D1 Milano automatic, 36 millimeters. So amazing looking. And while I'm waiting for Nevada Grenchen to send me a packing slip so I can have the F77 serviced, because after the way it was performing when I first got it, it really needs to have someone look at it. And the other day, it apparently randomly stopped a bit. When I picked it up, it was a couple hours behind, but still running. Yeah, so that needs some attention. And in the meantime, perfect. I will wear the D1, and I have been ever since it arrived. So in a couple weeks or so, after I've spent even more time with this watch, I'll do a full review of it. Thanks for watching.